Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. In today's video we're going to be baling some more of second crop. Dad and Mason are going to go rake. We're going to be running 2 rakes today. We got plenty of acres laying on the ground, so sun is shining, we got a light breeze, so it should be a really good hay drying day. We got a lot to do today, so thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the video. Also remember, if you haven't already, to subscribe, like, and share the video. It's all free and it helps us out a lot. Allows us to keep making these videos for you guys. So keep watching and tell your friends about us. that, the rakes are back in the yard. Those guys made quick work of these two hay fields that we're going to be baling today. I think it was nice. They were able to use both the older tractors that get around really good and still have power steering. So comfortable rides today on this very, very, very hot summer day. We're in the mid to upper 90s and it's very humid, so the real feel is probably over 100. And we do have that light breeze, but it comes and goes. At times it's dead still, so there's not a lot of airflow here today. But the sun and the heat are going to make up for that when it comes to our drying. So you guys seen it. They went up on the hill above our calf barn, above our main farmyard, that really nice long piece. They got that done. You guys seen that. And then this is the second field that we're doing today. This is that new seeding strip. We put this in to eliminate some of the weed pressure in our corn. But being that it's been corn on corn for a long time and has been sprayed, I think those weeds kind of got used to that and became resistant to that. So then now when we put in the new seeding, the oats weren't able to canopy enough, so we had some weeds getting away for first crop. So we ended up cutting this rather than waiting for the oats to head out like that new seeding field above there. And even there, the weed pressure has been hard. It has not been a great year for suppressing weeds in oats this year, at least for us. But anyways, so this field got cut at first crop, and it was kind of the same thing where we were having weeds come back. In order to get that hay established nice and keep the weeds back, we cut it again for second crop, and we'll see what she turns out here for third. Ideally, with new seeding like this, we would leave it, just harvest the oats off of it, and then make one hay cutting off of it. But anyways, it's looking good. You can already see that we do have some alfalfa coming in, which is great. That's really exciting, along with our grasses. Up on the hill there, or really all of our true hay stands, our alfalfa stands, have been looking really, really good this year with the moisture every 3-4 days and the heat. Second crop is going to be pretty bountiful. Dad thinks we're going to be able to fit all of that on the racks. I don't know. I think that's going to be a close one. Some of those windrows look just as big as they did for first crop, and normally first crop's your biggest harvest when it comes to tons. So there's a lot of material up there, a lot of plant matter. We're very grateful for that. The alfalfa has been coming back really good. This has been a great year for growing alfalfa. The alfalfa has definitely dominated the grass. It is very, very thick this year, which is a good thing. But anyways, this should dry really, really well. It already is getting bone dry. So in a couple hours, we'll be hitting the fields with the balers. I think we'll run with 2 of them today, being we got the help, and you can just hear it. Especially now being rolled over and windrowed. That little bit of breeze we do have is gonna blow right through this and dry it even more than it already is. It's nice to have a good drying day for a change. So anyways, we're gonna head back up to the yard and probably end up getting the balers ready and things like that, but we'll be checking in with you guys before we get back out there. Also, mid-video, I want to remind you to check out GierokFarms.com. That's our very own website. We got some awesome hats on there, just like this one, some t-shirts, some sweatshirts. Check us out, GierokFarms.com.
Another day of baling hay. It's the weekend, so the boys are around. It's extremely hot today, high in the 90s, a bit humid. Hay's been cut 2 days ago. I'm hoping that we're gonna go with 2 balers. I think Mason's gonna get the other one going. It's all greased and ready. It just needs a driver. I got this little strip down on the bottom here. Mostly grasses on there, grasses and some weeds in there. It's a new seeding. I'm gonna get that guy first. Then we got 9 acres, oh actually 11 acres up on the hill to do. Unless we have some major breakdowns, we should get it. Now everything hydraulic tongue, hydraulic pickup, and hydraulic thrower. Which I gotta say, on this farm, that hydraulic pickup is more necessary than probably on most farms, being that we got a lot of unevenness, and you can kind of pick up your teeth a little bit if you get in a spot where you think it's going to be scraping the dirt or gravel or something along the edge of a road or driveway or something. So Usually it seems like after the baler sits a while, the first few bales going through are kind of the ones that just kind of stiffen the chamber from sitting in there for a while. Maybe it just needs to be shined up a little bit again. Even if it's just a few days sometimes. I can tell these things are a little bit tight. Every type of crop slips through the baler a little differently. Alfalfa will slip through way different than grass. Like second crop orchard grass slips through really good. Usually it's always super dry. Sometimes you can't even get it tight enough to actually make a half decent bale out of it. But better too dry than not dry enough. Nobody wants to unload that stuff, and it ain't no fun to feed, and it's not always good for your cattle. All kinds of things like that. You can just tell by the baler I might have to loosen them just a little bit. This is kind of a lot of quack grass in here and stuff. It's alfalfa and grass has been planted in here, but that's how it is. We cut the oats and put it in the pile here about a month ago, and we've had a fairly rainy time here, so stuff is growing good. This is heavy bottom here. It grew, got real tall, but real thick. Your tension gets controlled by a control of a dial. It has pressure on the chamber. There's hydraulic tension. The older balers, you just have the crank and the big springs, which this is virtually the same thing, except you have a hydraulic cylinder doing it for you. So you're not reefing on those things. And they ain't too bad. I plan on feeding this hay out, this here stuff out a little bit sooner. A few bales to the dairy cows a little bit, but it's so hot. Nice days like today, they just stand under the trees the whole time. We don't have all these big fans in our barn and everything, and it's a good place for them. They're out where there's a bit of a breeze and that, but of course they just don't want to be out there. Check once more and see what they feel like. Well, imagine that. They're feeling just right. Stuff like that don't happen every day. Oh, it is hot, and this is grassy earth, but it's kind of in the bottom. Really foggy this morning, you know, like really muggy foggy until about 11 o'clock in the morning, which is kind of a little scary when you've got a big hay. Is it going to get dry enough? You know, are we going to get sun? Are we going to get some clouds in there? You know, that's, oh yeah, I can't wait till we're done, because we're always watching the forecast like a hawk, wondering if we should mow, or if we should rake, or if we should get baling. You know, it's always, I think that's the worst part of it all. If we had more stability in our weather and our weather forecasting, where you could say, oh yeah, it's going to be good for 2 or 3 or 4 days in a row, things don't need to be pushed nearly as hard, and that person is able to say, well, even if we don't get it today, we'll get it tomorrow. But that's very rare nowadays that happens. So you get more of a drought year, you just, then of course you don't get as much to make either. Here's Mason. He needs a little help with something to hook something up here. What the heck is the deal with these? Okay, here, hold the camera, I'll show you. Alright, I know you gotta hold this. These gotta be out. You push the back. See, this goes in. These usually stay with the tractor. And then it should hook up like this. Like they always do. You push that back and you got that. So then they go like this. They point towards it. Now if that's going to be on hook and a bungee cord right here to the tractor to kind of keep the... Anyway, I think you're good. Don't push it. You got a lot of power here.
Okay, both the balers and the tractors are in the yard. Dad, he just got back with some of that new seeding. Sounds like he's pretty happy with it. Mason's hopping in the 1066 with the old 273 hay liner. It's getting back into the action today after its breakdown during first crop, and it should have some pretty good going up there. That field's pretty straight and pretty long, so we should have some really nice baling for the rest of the afternoon. They just put some twine on here. It's going to be jam-packed. Hope you guys are as excited as we are.
just got done with my one load. I probably would have got two on, but I was having some issues with some shear pins with the baler. But Aaron's gonna go grab that other load and meet us down in the yard, and we're gonna have to throw a few loads off just so we can finish this field here. There's not a whole lot left. Dad's going with one more wagon, and I only see him needing maybe one and a half more. So I think if we get at least two off, we should be good to finish today. But anyway, We're gonna go get set up in the yard so we can chuck a few loads off.
All right, we got that load unloaded. Owen and I were in the hay barn for that one, and man, it's hot. It is unbelievably hot. But Mason ran that empty wagon up there, so hopefully that finishes off that field for the day. Update, Dad, he was able to get it all on that last one. So we're gonna unload another one here right away, being all 4 of us are in the yard. And that's the last couple bales from load number 2 making its way up into the hay barn. I'm gonna end this one off here. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. Make sure to check out our other hay videos, and we will see you all next time.